So he's trying to throw a red herring at this brother. You know? He threw this little red herring up in there. And then the brother answered him. He said, if a girl is 9, she obviously isn't plump and ripe, obviously. And if she has a period, we know there's some type of chemical imbalance in some food, some growth hormone that caused that to occur. That's why it happens. The other record clearly said we aren't going to deal with a 9-year-old woman. With a 9-year-old. I said 9-year-old woman. That was a slip of the tongue. Man, slip with his tongue, but not from his heart. The other record clearly said we aren't going to deal with a 9-year-old. Come on, man. Like, come on, son. Give us credit, you faggot. You know what I mean? Like we gonna go around doing that. So then the brother sent him something. He said, Numbers 31, verse 17 to 18. I'll read it from here. Now therefore, kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman. Now therefore, kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman that have no man by lying with him. But all the women children that have not known a man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves. Then they kidnap the women children, meaning young women. Obviously, they aren't 5, 2, 9 years old, man. And being that they kidnapped these women children, what do you think they did with them? Rape them or play hopscotch? And Numbers 31:35 says, and 32,000 persons know a woman that had not known men by lying with them. So they took 32,000 women. Now the verse calls the women so they were of age. Because when you read verse 35, it calls the woman. But when you read verse 18, it calls the women children. Obviously, it calls the women children, but women children here in verse 18, but women in verse 35. Why? Because these women children had to have been young women who were actually women. They were women, but they were women of a young age. And there were 32,000 of them. Maybe they just looked at them. What do you think they did? Answer it. And answer my definitions. I want to stay on topic. So this brother wanted to get right back to the point. You know, the whole foul of age thing. He comes back. Tahar said they brought a 9-year-old girl to King David's deathbed. What the fuck did I gotta do with the very beginning of the argument? Why are you trying to jump around? I never heard the elder Tahar say they brought a 9-year-old girl to King David's deathbed. I never heard the elder Tahar say that. Now he said the elder Tahar said it like definite. Then he responds here. Now we're gonna start from the bottom up. This here says here's another definition. You can see the webpage here. It says past the flower of age, beyond the acme, figurative of daughter past the bloom of youth. What's the past the bloom of youth? When she reaches her period. Come on, man. Acme is like the height. Okay? When she reaches the height of her youth, when she's past the height of her youth, which would be when she receives her period. Which goes back to this definition here, a girl reaching womanhood. Now this last comment, we're gonna start from the bottom up. It says according to Tahar, in fact, I'm gonna read the whole thing. Of course, they would take young girls because young girls grow to be women. So then you're agreeing that they kidnap young girls, which what you just said here. Do you want to kidnap and rape 9-year-old girls? You just said they kidnap these young girls because they kidnap young girls because young girls grow to women, which is what you just said here. Then you're making reference that these young girls that they took were young girls, but they were not yet women, meaning they had to be 5, 2, 9, 8, 6 months. So you're saying Israel was kidnapping 6-month girls? Is that what you're saying? Because a 6-month-old, a 5-year-old, and a 7-year-old, they ain't women. They're little girls. So maybe they kidnapped them until they reach womanhood. But it says according to the Tahar, they could be 9. According to Tahar, what? According to Tahar, the girls in number 31:18 could be 9? I never heard the elder Tahar make reference to the scripture. I'm pretty sure he knows he's been in this thing for 30 years. But I never heard him say that these girls right here could be 9. Or maybe he meant Tahar said the girl brought to King David's deathbed could be 9. But if that's what you meant, why would you say Tahar said the girl was 9? Because if you're saying she was 9, you're saying he definitely said that she was 9 years old. But if you're saying he said maybe he means that she could be 9. Maybe he means that the girl could be 9. Maybe that's what El Tahar said. But could be means a possibility, not necessarily so. So if El Tahar said that, you gotta produce a video of him saying that the girl was 9 years old. And if you can't produce that video, make sure you're a fucking liar. So if you can produce a video of him saying this, make sure you produce a video of him saying that the girl was 9. Because if you produce a video saying that he said she could be 9, it makes you a fucking liar. And produce a video that he said between numbers 31 and 18 these girls are 9 years old too. Then this fucking dumbass, he goes to the Hebrew like that's going to change the definition. See, sometimes when you go into the Hebrew, it'll say something completely different than what it is in the English. But here it means the same exact thing. He says it's taf, which means children. The Hebrew word for children And number 31:18 is taf, which means children, little ones. Dumbass. Little ones are little children. Little children are still children. Dumbass. Which goes back to the word there in the English, which is children. Fucking fool. This is the Hebrew word for woman in number 31:18 is Aisha. Aisha, which means woman, wife, or female. Dumbass. A female is a wife. Wife means woman. A female is a woman, which goes back to the same definition of the word woman in the scripture number 31:18. So there was you're not even a point in even going into the Hebrew. Which goes back to here. Of course they would take young girls because young girls go to be women. Which takes us back full circle like a boomerang. It's all coming back to you. What age does a girl become a woman? If they took these young girls, which obviously they're young girls, so you're not yet women, because you said they were going to grow up to be women. So when they were taken, they were not yet women. So they're going to take them, wait till they grew up. Where did the scripture to say that? And if so, they're going to take them, wait till she grow up to become a woman. What age will they become a woman? When she reaches the flower of her age? Because remember, here it says the phrase flower of her age describes the girl reaching womanhood. What age does she reach womanhood? Is it pursuant to this website here? Definition flower, when she receives menstrual discharge? Or is it here when it says the flower of age is by the Jews considered to be 12 and a half years old? Or is it here, Webster's Revived Unabridged Dictionary, menstrual discharges? So, Upstate Israelite, you gotta answer these questions, man. You gotta answer these questions. If they took these little girls because they was to grow up to become women, what age does a girl become a woman in? We showed you Holman's Bible Dictionary that it means the phrase means when she reaches womanhood. What age does she reach womanhood? What age does she become a woman? And the other web pages said flower of age when she's 12 and a half years old when she gets menstrual discharge. So therefore, what time does that take place? You gotta show and prove, nigga. You gotta show and prove. That's when she's beyond her prime, right? When she's past the flower of age would be when what? She's 12 and a half years old. We just showed you that.
Not when you turn 12 years old, you idiots. Are you child molesters? You sick perverts? You need to be ashamed of yourself.
And with that, I'm going to say shalom, all praise Yahweh Shemal Shah, double honor to the elders, shalom to your brother there pushing truth and sincerity, shalom.